Bart. Things are going great. So next, Mick, would you like to come up here? Figured we'd have Mick introduce Bart. He could probably tell better stories than some Bart would like me to share with the rest of you. So we'll let Mick introduce Bart.
All right, thanks, Dave. Well, you're lucky we're running behind because I have some stories to tell about Bart. I won't go through all that. But anyway, I do want to introduce my family that's here. Quickly before I introduce Bart, my wife Jane, my daughter Michelle, son-in-law Neil Overley, and some of the oh Ellen, that's all right. Daughter Ellen Overley, and several of the kids are here, but I guess we won't take time to introduce them all. Several of the grandchildren. So thank you. Anyway, I again apologize for the delay. Is it Murphy's Law? Says anything that can happen will happen. I said, well, let's bring everything out and check it. We checked it, but we guess we didn't overload it enough. Anyway, and then also my associate Greg Ammon. Greg was responsible mostly for cleaning everything up. It looks nice. And J.R. Coyne back there in the green. Thanks to you guys. All right. Does anybody want to move up closer to the front? Feel free to. You know, you can see okay for the film, fine. All right, well, our speaker, I just got thinking, now when did I meet our speaker? And that was May 20th, 1983 at Parkview Hospital. Some of you know we had 5 daughters and didn't think we were going to have a son. I remember the last daughter, Bridget, when she was born, I called my dad. I said, well, Dad, we got another nice girl. He said, oh, she boy again, huh? That was an old Indian saying, the chief kept having daughters, so he said, she boy again. Anyway, Bart, just tell you just a little bit about Bart. Went to Monroeville Elementary School and Heritage High School, then to Purdue University, and dropped out a year after 9/11, joined the Air National Guard. Graduated from Purdue, then worked for 3 years with Lieutenant Governor Becky Skillman, and heard about the ADD, Agriculture Development Team, that was going to Afghanistan. To his credit, volunteered to do that to kind of help the plight of the Afghan farmers, and so real proud that Bart did that. So I'm not going to take a lot of extra time. Bart, if you're ready, you're on.
Salam alaikum. Zamanun Dwayne Bridman Barlamar. For those of you that don't speak Pashtun language, I just said good morning. My name is First Lieutenant Bart Lamar. Thank you for the great introduction, Dad. It's great to be here with so many familiar faces. For those of you that I've not met, it's been a great pleasure getting to know many of you earlier this morning over a great breakfast. And back at school at Purdue, we always thought the secret was beer and pizza to get it crowded. But I see here pancakes and sausage works as well. So thanks for coming out on a Saturday morning and hearing a few things to try to put in words or even in pictures what a year in Afghanistan meant to so many of us on the 319th Agribusiness Development Team is an undaunting task. But I'm going to do my best today in my 45 minutes of prepared remarks. I won't take it out, but please bear with me. And also think of some questions. I'm going to go through a few slides here today, and I'd really like some input from you all after we finish up. Think of anything. I mean, food. I see a lot of the kids back there. I think there's 11 nieces and nephews. A couple other kids always want to know what we ate over there, what we did in our spare time. So please think of anything. Nothing's off the table. To get started, I was a member of the Indiana 319th Agribusiness Development Team. It was a team full of Army National Guardsmen and myself. We all wear the United States uniform. I was the one Air Force member on this team. There were 64 members, 12 officers, 52 enlisted. For those of you who have worn the uniform, you'll know that that's a very disproportionate amount of officers to enlisted. This was because of the specific professional nature of the teams. These teams were specifically focused in agricultural development, where they brought in civilian experts who also happened to wear the uniform. We had 14 headquarters personnel. They were working more in administrative functions like finance, law, human resources type work. 16 agricultural experts. I'm not sure I'd ever call myself an expert, but have an agricultural background. And 34 security forces. You might note that's a much higher number. That's about a platoon full of infantrymen that were specifically tasked with providing security for our unit. Every mission we went out on, every mission planning that they went through, these were the security guys armed with 50 caliber machine guns and grenade launchers, specifically tasked with providing security and allowing us to move throughout the country of Afghanistan. The specific focus of our team was the mentorship of agricultural leaders in the Afghan government. The Director of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock of the host province where we were located was Hakbar Ashami. He is, I'll get there later, but a very interesting gentleman. The agricultural team makeup, as I mentioned, the specific 16 members who had an agricultural focus on our team. The highest ranking member of our ag team is Colonel Marilyn Morris. She's, in the civilian world, a juvenile courts judge in Marion County. Those involved in the political world might know her. She's been around Indianapolis politics for years. But she had the actual task of working in rule of law, where she would come in and they were building court systems like we enjoy the rule of law here in the States today. They had no knowledge of that. They had tribal assurance as the only rule of law in that country. Major Shane Robbins is the superintendent of Monroe Central Schools. He joined our team along with Major Jeremy Gully. I think Ellis handed me a newspaper earlier. Major Jeremy Gully has done a lot of public speaking on our team since our return in August. Captain Randy Tyler is a nuclear technician at Cook Nuclear Plant. This is just a small cross-section of the team to show you some of the different focuses and backgrounds that all of these men and women came together to put 1 year of their lives on hold back in the civilian world to come together as a team and try to make a difference in Afghanistan. Here's a picture of the actual team. You'll note the vehicles we're standing on are called MRAPs, mine-resistant armored personnel carriers. And it was very comforting to know that the specific technology developed in these MRAPs was done here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at Navistar International. And it was a lot of fun to say we're from Indiana, Fort Wayne specifically. This is where these vehicles that are protecting us every day were designed and manufactured. Here is our actual headquarters in Afghanistan. You'll note the ADT flag there. Our unit symbol was the Reapers, appropriately named for an agricultural team. It was the Grim Reaper with side that we would carry out there. You see the Indiana flag, we flew that every day, along with the American flag. And these were, the buildings you'll note here are very typical of the base. I'll get into that a little further in detail. Forward Operating Base Salerno is where we spent our year, and all of our operations were based out of. Here's a picture of the agricultural team. This is inside that building you saw on the previous slide. We had Major Shane Robbins and Major Jeremy Gully were two, really, I'd call them kind of our brain trust. The education base, education was our specific focus. And the project where we put 80% of our working hours, the Future Farmers of Afghanistan project, was really the brainchild of these two majors who have an education background and said, if we're going to make a difference in Afghanistan, let's start with the youth. You'll also note all military uniforms with the exception of one personnel here. That is Mr. Ken Lively, and he's actually a USDA representative from Texas that has been in Afghanistan for 3 years now, working. He's put his life on hold and has decided to have some kind of continuity. While military teams are only there for a year, they ask the civilians to extend for several years at a time to provide continuity between the agricultural teams and their liaison work with the Afghan government. Here's a typical mission brief where our team would meet. You'll note the men hanging their heads. We had 12 hours before each and every mission, regardless of the time of day it went out. We sat down as a team and discussed specifically every move and operation that would take place the next morning when we go out. The final thing that we all did as a team was hang our heads in prayer. As we went out on that day, a different team member was asked to speak each day, asked the Lord to provide safe travel, safe trip, and allow us with a clear mind to help the people the best as we could each day. I mentioned the MRAP vehicles once again. Many of you will note that international symbol right there. A long ways from Fort White, Indiana, but a great reminder of home. Now, to talk specifically about Afghanistan, it's a country of about 29 million people. I won't go into great detail about the history and the thousands of years of war, but from the time of Alexander the Great to present day, the people of Afghanistan have known nothing but war, with the exception of a few decades in the 60s and 70s. And during the 60s and 70s, the capital city of Kabul was actually a metropolitan area. Many Europeans would visit there in the 60s and 70s. And I was talking to a gentleman earlier this morning who said he had spent about a month there. It's a landlocked, multi-climate country. You see some pictures from the northern regions, very mountainous, snow-covered terrain, all the way down to the southern areas where it's essentially a desert and you won't find any agricultural at all. With it being landlocked, that's a major problem for any imports and exports. Obviously, they have absolutely no ports, anything like that. So that's a strong issue that we dealt with, trying to get products in and out of the country. But what you'll find is imports and exports are one thing, and the economy's based on that. But when you have to focus on security first, that's the first issue. These people are worried about feeding their families, not feeding the world. So to put it in perspective, the gross domestic product of the country of Afghanistan is $575 a person. Here in the United States, we enjoy a gross domestic product of $48,000 per person. So not quite conceivable for most of us. And a ranking that I think is probably most unfortunate, but shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. Forbes has listed Afghanistan as the most dangerous country in the world, which is why men and women in uniform with agricultural backgrounds are working there rather than agricultural experts on the civilian side. Here's a picture of the Hindu Kush Mountains, I mentioned in the northern part of Afghanistan. The primary mode of travel, just because of the mountainous regions and the extreme lack of infrastructure, is helicopter. The skies of Afghanistan look like New York on a busy day. Helicopters going in and out of everywhere. That's the only way to get supplies in and out, with the exception of a few cargo planes that will come in and out of the country there. The president of Afghanistan is Hamid Karzai. He was appointed in 2004 and has been president since. We didn't get to meet the president, but as you can see in the picture here, we did learn to tie pretty good turbans and try to keep up with the local culture as best as possible. Here's a photo of a Ford Ranger. The Afghan National Army were our counterparts on the military side. Each and every mission that we went out on, as part of our mentorship responsibilities, would be accompanied by Afghan National Army troops. These men and women, all men on the Afghan teams, would lead us out on every mission. Because of roadside bombs and other terror-type threats, we would have them in front because a lot of the corruption issues they would be aware of. And know they didn't want to take a route, we should not be on that route on our way to a mission. Specifically focusing on host province of Afghanistan would be similar to the state of Indiana. Afghanistan is made up of 34 provinces, much like our 50 states. The host province of Afghanistan consists of 13 districts, just like Indiana's 92 counties. These 13 districts, you'll see a map coming up in a little bit. The primary language is Pashtun. The entire country is, I think, 98% Muslim. And the population of host province is about 640,000, so about a tenth of the size of Indiana. Here you see Jaji Madan is the northern area there that borders that, and Spera is the southern tip. Spera, some of you might have heard in the past, if you recall the now deceased NFL linebacker Pat Tillman, who left the NFL to enlist in the Army Rangers. Pat was tragically killed in friendly fire in the Spera district, also in 2004. Just to the southern part of the border, probably the most dangerous area in the world, is what they call the FATA, the Federally Administered Tribal Areas. This is essentially a no man's land where Pakistan to the east and Tajikistan, some of these other countries to the north, have had nothing to do with. They essentially just let the area go to tribal